Hey, I think I'll just do something a little bit different here and just do some automatic drawing and explain what's going on in my mind. And let's see, it's going to be fun. Hopefully. Uh, just want to break up the 3D stuff a little bit and head towards 2D. So let's move my mic here and yeah, let's just start drawing. I guess the way I start drawing is just shape wise. So if I just do something like this, let's just do a page of random shapes that we can turn to random characters. So I'm just gonna try and vary up the shape like this. Now I never really got into drawing construction lines. My background I took was fine arts on the emphasis of modern art. I did a lot of traditional oil painting, but not like atelier stuff. It was very experimental. And the school that I went to didn't really have a good foundational program. It was very theory based, so I missed out on foundation stuff. But it's something I've think about constantly. It's like, would I have gotten better, or would I have gotten to this stage if I did take a more was it like structured course or more structured schooling rather than theoretical. But I don't know. Like lately, it was something that I've been thinking about because now that I'm in industry, I didn't really have. I'm in the animation industry. I didn't really have any education that mm, was for this industry. It was mainly through fine art, and it really did open my eyes a little bit and try and think about how certain techniques are kind of drilled into you. The way fine art galleries work is they usually won't pick up students or fresh graduates, and that's because we're usually still thinking about what the teachers are saying. It's not really truly our own voice, it's not our own unique voice. And in my younger years, I always thought about this notion of style and what is it, and how I was worried about like, oh, will I have a good style when when I mature? And it's something I really think about now. And I think style pertains to how you perceive the world, and it's your own experiences and your own interests. That's where the style comes from, and you can't really rush that. It's like you're planting a seed and its growth. You can't just keep watering it. You can't just keep willing it to grow instantly. It's something that takes time, and art is a wonderful journey of creation, of humbling. It can have your downs, it can have your ups, but it definitely molds you as a person, and your life experiences change. And with your life experiences changing, I feel like so does your art. Like earlier in my years, I wanted to head towards more concept art, more viz dev, but like every time I did like a rendered drawing or I did something, I don't know, like it felt like it wasn't me. I kept trying to will it to happen, and I have really not a lot of like rendered drawings in that. It's because I found that by taking fine arts, I was enamored. I was falling in love with the material itself rather than the concept or the execution. And like I like to explore the paint and what the paint had to offer, and I was very attracted to doing abstract paintings because of that. And just yeah, usually we explore what each material has, and that has definitely carried over to the digital world, where now I'm a lot of my recent work now is I'm combining all sorts of digital aspects together, and rather than just trying to emulate something, I'm not saying that emulation is bad, where let's say you use Photoshop, or you use Clip Studio, Procreate, or whatever tool you have, and you're trying to recreate oils in it or watercolors. That's completely fine. That's you as a person. But what interested me was just like the digitalness of it, the digital aspect of it, and how it's fun to explore that. And and there are certain people still exploring, but let's say when 3D was coming around, you'll see like a lot of the older art was all about reflections, because that was just something brand new and exciting. And it lent itself, it created a sort of structure, if that makes sense, to the identity of what CG art is. And nowadays it's amazing because it's mixing in with different mediums. I think we're very fortunate and live in a wonderful time where access to knowledge is plentiful and you can definitely explore. And you don't want to get too much caught in the trap of constantly doing tutorials. Make room for exploration. Exploring is amazing, and I think it's a great part of an identity of the artist. And usually, even like some of these drawings that I'm doing, there might be something that plants a seed in your head, and from there you could grow and take it, nurture it, and become something, a part of you, something new. And you can see how like I'm doing a lot of free-form stuff here. I'm not really thinking or erasing as much. Just kind of having fun with these forms. And yeah, it's pretty fun here. I'm trying to think what else. And I wouldn't be too bogged down by trying to get good per se, or to worry about that. Just each day, take your time and do 10 minutes, or something less than that. At least that you're doing something like that, and doing something creative. And don't really, beat yourself up or compare yourself on someone else's path, because they're different. We're all different. We're all in creativity's a filter, a language. I think creativity is your own personal language, and if someone likes that, they can, take it in. It's like a dialect. They'll take in that language and they'll accent it with their own. And over time, I'm erasing. I said I wasn't erasing. Just wanted a different shape here. And over time, you'll get something kind of cool. It's like, for me, it took me a while to come up with the stylization here. And sometimes, you gotta really think about what kind of artist you are. When I started drawing, I thought I could do, really emotional stuff with colors and moody stuff. Like just this moody stuff, but when I got a bit older, I started realizing that my passion with drawing, or I've assigned drawing as a tool of communication. And that's what I tried. What am I trying to say here? Drawing to me is a form of communicating a design or a concept. But I have friends who use it in such a beautiful way that you can feel like it invokes an emotion, or you get an emotional response from it. For me, the emotional response comes from when I make music. Because in my head, the language of music is abstract, and it offers you, even just the basics. Like, if you're using a major chord or major scale, it's tend to have a happy feeling, minor is sad, and you have the mix of the two. You can start weaving a sort of emotional journey. And the way the chords are played, or the way that the keys are hit, depending on the velocity, you can start manipulating the viewer, or even yourself. And I know I would often use music as an emotional escape. When I was going through some things, I'd just riff on the piano and have fun with that, and sort some things out. I think that's also something important too. It's don't get too caught up with a certain medium, or don't be afraid to experiment. Because, man, let me tell you, like starting out with Blender in the very beginning, a lot of my experimentations were just like a flat box with a texture slapped into it. But it was fun. It was fun. Don't beat yourself up when you see someone doing something amazing, because they've went through a long journey to get there. And the philosophy I've always had was, or have, still do, it's like teach those willing to learn and learn from those willing to teach. And grow as an artist. Always be thoughtful, and you can have a little bit of an ego with your art. It's fine. It's healthy. I know oftentimes I'll have this really bad relationship with my own art, specifically with 2D, because it's gone through like a lot of changes over the years of how I've seen it, or how for me it was like the industry changed my views on it, and still am reclaiming it back. But when you want to get a job in the industry, you start morphing your perception of your art rather than how it makes you feel. You start thinking about profitability, and that's fine when you're starting out. It's something that larger companies want to see. It's like, can you do the talk? Can you do the walk? But also, don't forget why you started drawing. It's, for me, it was a form of escapism, and it was for me to have fun. And I think that's one of the reasons why lately I've moved into CG, is because I can start repairing my relationship with my own art. And yeah, sometimes I'll have like very aggravated responses when I'm to myself. I'll talk to myself when I'm trying to draw something. It's like, just that's not the way it's working out. But sometimes you just gotta push through that stuff. And eventually, you'll start repairing it. Like, I haven't drawn consistently in a long time. Mainly because I made the switch to CG, and I'm really having fun with Blender, because my mindset was primarily world building. And with Blender, I can combine my love of music, my love of sound, I can practice storytelling, cinematography, and one of the reasons why I got into the animation industry is because I wanted to see what my creations would look like with life. But of course, it depends on the projects you're on. I never really had the chance for that. And for me, my own chance to see my creations come to life is just me doing it myself. And in the beginning, again, it looked very unappealing. But over time, over the years, like 5 years of just trying things out, putting things together, and I hate calling them failures, but just tests. Yeah, tests. All those tests, you get something wonderful in the end. And I think only now, last year and this year, am I very comfortable with my work and how it's and my workflow. Especially when you're trying to like do something new, or like combining mediums, you may find yourself in a very lonely path. When you're trying to seek for feedback, the support would be great. I've had great support, but oftentimes I'd want to find someone similar in my boat, just so I can share some ideas, and that's why it felt lonely. And I sometimes would not see the support, as I was constantly seeking ways to improve. And that's a trap. That's definitely a trap. As an artist, we all feel it's like constantly shifting through support in favor of criticism in terms of get better. And what that does is make you very uncomfortable with receiving praise and receiving compliments. And I'm always in this, I'm getting better now. Like, I'll tell you my tricks for it, but every time I received it, my response in my head, it'd be like, oh, there must be something wrong with it. Because I'm so used to hearing feedback, or you as an artist, you're your worst critic, and I would always give myself feedback. And when I didn't hear any of that feedback, I would kind of take it a bit negatively. I'm like, there must be something wrong with it. No. Now, when I get comments, I thank them, and I'll ask if there's something that, if there's like something you want to know, so I have a chance to teach my process and teach the journey. Oftentimes, it's always funny to see the end result, or they'll only see the end result but not the journey there. And you're so excited about the journey. At least that's what I find. Like sometimes when I finish a piece, I'm like, yep, that's it. That's a cool piece, and people will talk about it, and I'll receive a lot of support, and I'm happy for that. But part of me's like, I want to show you how it's done. I'm super excited to show you how it's done because I learned a lot of tricks, or I want to help people get to where I'm at. And yeah, so that's definitely one trick you can do, is definitely teach them a few things if they're willing to teach. Just don't start like teaching right away. Always ask. Definitely always ask. It's a very respectful thing to do. People's times are very valuable. I don't know what this character is. I'm just gonna see what else we can do back here. Let me do some cartoony characters. Let's see. Man, I would have loved it. Well, I mean, I would have loved it. Probably still find some courses. But like the proper way of cartooning, learn how to do the appeal. Oh man. I used to watch a lot of like Cartoon Network stuff. Like 90s cartoons would have like really wacky shapes. What other tidbits can I think of? When I started recording, I actually had no idea what to talk about. I just wanted to put something up, or almost this is a way for me to keep me drawing, because I often get distracted when I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna doodle for like 20 minutes, and I find myself either going to YouTube or I'm booting up a completely different program and trying to learn how to do that, and then move on to something else. And every time well, not every time, now when I'm drawing, there's a different sense of emotion where I feel more relaxed. When I was doing a lot of this stuff as a job, I'd get so burnt out because drawing all day, and it makes sense, and you shouldn't beat yourself up. I'm probably talking to my past self now, but I shouldn't have beat myself much when I see all my friends doing cool artwork, and I'm like, I'm so tired, I can't keep up. And I think that's what I like about 3D now, is I can work on something on the weekend and then pull from other past shorts and just paste them around the scene for noise. And that's something too. It's like, I'd always say, it's always hard to know when to make sacrifices in terms of time, especially when you're a interdisciplinary artist. Does that make sense? Or yeah, you use multiple programs, or you do multiple things. Like when I create shorts, I have to make a conscious decision how much time I'm spending on rendering, on music, on sound, the story itself, how many iterations I have to do. And I set like really fast deadlines, because like a day for some of my shorts, or 2 days, or the weekend. And the reason for that is, this is me, my own workflow. It's like I enjoy just trying to find shortcuts, not in a way of like all my work shortcuts, but as a means of how do I get there fast and make it look good as a first pass, and then later on we can do all the refinement, because refining is like 10% of the work, but 90% of the time. Whereas like little things can make monumental shifts. And I find when I hit this like creative train, I want to keep going, and if I get like too caught up with, oh, the sound doesn't sound right here, oh, I don't really like the design or this camera move, it starts losing momentum. And as soon as it starts losing momentum, then I kind of get uninterested in continuing. So I'd rather get it done, and then I can look back and start reacting to it, and I might make a new short with the ideas that I initially wanted. I also might open the file and do a few more additions, I guess like a post-mortem afterwards. That'd be kind of cool too. What else can we do here? Some really fun faces. Do like this. I think it's always nice to like just have fun with the drawings. You can do bad drawings, air quotes, bad drawings. I usually find bad drawings give me the most fun. Or even like fast, quick ones like this. Like, oh man, like out of all the things I've done here, this one's awesome. Look at the shape of this. Give him a big old neck like that. Blazer. Give him some couple pens here. This looks like a cliche car dealer. Let's see if we can carry this energy and try another character here. Big eyes. Yeah, definitely have fun with the drawing. I'm actually smiling right now. This is fun to me. Yeah, that's also things like bigger mistakes too. It was like I would always tend to take my first pass, or first pass being, let's say if I took this sketch and rendered it out and that's my final one, but it's like, yeah, it's, you know, the inklings of something there. But if I didn't continue on and make this journey, I wouldn't have gotten this character here. It's something you can't really control. You just gotta keep drawing and iterating. Iteration's fun. Definitely fun. What else can we add here? What can I draw? Sometimes I like to do... Oh yeah, this is a funny thing I used to do with friends back in the studio. We just draw a bunch of homers on Postit Notes. And we'd have our computers filled with just different kinds of homers. We got pretty good at it. Doing homers. It's been a while for me. That's funny. You can also notice I'm just drawing heads right now. That 3/4. Let's do a front face. It's basically copying, mirroring it over. Or maybe let's do an eye shape. Let's just start with an eye and see where it goes. That's always fun too. It's like break up the formula that you have. Usually, with construction lines, we go from there. But I know freehanding, you'll have a lot of odd, weird proportions and mistakes, and like revel in it. Have fun with that. You'll tend to like get the most interesting, oddball-looking characters if you don't have any construction lines. And it can be very weird and a new experience. Give this. Yeah. Sometimes in my head, I'm imagining what these characters sound like. So this guy's probably going. Add this up like this. Yeah, that's pretty fun page. Let's do one more, and I think I'll end the video here. Let's do a really tiny face here. The babushka knows all your secrets. I feel like this guy needs glasses. Oh, it was fun. Well, thanks for watching.